taking time out of your business day to join us for ours. Wouldn't you like to be the big fish in a small pond? Well, I haven't found the small pond yet.
It is a great big world out there, and I think that at some point we realize we're fishing, or we're being represented in a really big sea. It's not just in our little town, but the internet, and because of relationships, there is a great big world out there, and we need to be a bigger fish in a big sea. Our next guest is Bree Gotsdiner. She actually got her start as a firefighter, but her expertise is helping startups and small to medium-sized companies become that bigger brand. Bree, welcome to the Experience Pros Radio Show.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.
Well, very nice to have you, Bree. And first of all, thank you for your service as a first responder. And then now that we're talking about business, thank you for your service to the business community. Let's start with a fundamental question here. Does the national media attention, there's a lot of national coverage. Does it really actually impact something like a very small, hyper-local business?
Absolutely. It can impact a hyper-local business by increasing exposure, first of all, but second of all, by really building the credibility that small businesses need. If a large third-party voucher such as the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times features a small business, that adds a ton to brand recognition and also credibility.
Oh, and I think getting featured, we would all love for a big brand or a big company, or sometimes we just want somebody to share our Facebook post, Bree,
right.
And we get all giddy about that. And so when we're talking about being that bigger fish in that big sea, is that something we should focus on as a small business, or should we just stay right where we are and
do what we do?
Yeah.
There's a saying that goes, if you do what you do, you'll get the same result. And to keep moving forward in our changing business environment and to keep pushing the envelope to advance the company to be the best that it can be and to bring more clients through your doors or onto your website, you absolutely want to keep moving forward.
All right. Well,
so definitely strive to be the big fish.
All right. So, Bree, let me circle around to the original question and come at it from a different angle. How do I, as a hyper-local business, and we have a national radio show, but anybody out there with a small business that is local to one area, how do they get that kind of a national media exposure?
Eric, that's a great question, one that my clients ask me almost every day. There's an art to pitching a story. And when you're pitching a story, that includes building a relationship with the reporter, sending them something that's newsworthy, both to the news field, but also to the publication's readership. So once you pitch it, you correspond with them on, of course, their terms and give them valuable information without wasting time. So you keep it short, you keep it concise, you build their relationships, and you just follow up.
And is this why we need a professional? Because you have those relationships?
Exactly. That's what I tell my clients is they say, why do we need a PR agency if we can do it ourselves? And I say, well, we have the relationships. The quote-unquote press release is antiquated and actually looked down on a lot of the times these days if it's not used for search engine optimization purposes. So you really want to go with a PR agency that has the relationships, has the experience, has a firm grasp of how to pitch a story and to get it to the right publications for your audience.
Okay, so Bree, we've established this. We pitch our story. Is there a place in this whole process where that agency then comes back and is kind of checking us out, doing their background research, and looking to see, do we even have an online presence? Are we worthy of receiving that kind of press?
Absolutely. There was a big problem with a site not too long ago where a fake reporter had gone on, collected a bunch of misinformation, showed that most reporters aren't even fact-checking. And as a result of that, many reporters have been double and triple fact-checking. I just had a client in the New York Times, and the reporter not only contacted me, contacted him and a couple of his business partners, plus went on his website and mentioned later on he really doesn't have much of a social media presence, and said, that would have really helped enhance his credibility in her eyes.
Yeah, we see that a lot.
So there are things that we can be doing to build up our presence so that maybe we are newsworthy in the first place. What are some of those things we can be doing, Bree?
Absolutely. Use social media. If you have a brand, if you have a company that's in a service industry, such as travel or restaurant business, you should use Pinterest to use that to your advantage of posting pictures and engaging your clients that way. Always use Facebook, or almost always, I guess that's a tricky word. Usually use Facebook to engage your audience, to build your audience, to widen your scope, to build your brand recognition, and also, of course, to enhance your credibility. Facebook is a great tool if you use it properly and you target your posts. I suggest posting 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week.
Wow. All right. So then let me ask you this, since you brought up social media. Social media bites both ways. What if I've got negative reviews that are out there? Is there a way to cleanse those reviews, maybe clean up my reputation?
Yes, great question. Depending on the review site, some review sites will actually let you remove reviews. However, a stronger option, a better option would be to respond to the client that posted the negative review. Sometimes you can, depending on the site again, you can respond to them privately and also post a public response, because that not only shows that particular person, but also everyone else who reads your reviews that you are client focused. You do care about what they say. You appreciate the feedback, whether or not it's positive, and you take it into account to improve your business. And that goes a long way. A negative review can be crippling, but it certainly does not have to be.
It does not have to be the death of your business. So, Bree, what do you find is the biggest challenge your clients face when you're talking about being that bigger fish in the bigger sea?
They say to me, how can I do this with my limited time? I'm already so busy.
And what's your response to that?
I say that's why you want a professional to handle your social media, to handle your media, to handle your reputation, so that you can focus on what you do best, and so that you can have time to be with your family, to pursue your hobbies, to travel.
You know, and I think this is a big piece, Bree, that we find a lot of small businesses, we just don't really think of ourselves as big.
Right.
We don't think of ourselves as newsworthy.
Nope.
We don't really even think that we can compete. But there is almost a level playing field out there with all of the resources we have available. But a big piece is partnering with the right PR firm, building the right relationships. And it really is, I think a lot of times you just have to get out and meet the right people. You can't always just sit behind your computer and expect social media to do all the work for you. Am I right?
Exactly. Social media is a great tool, but it's almost worthless if you don't put in the legwork, as you said.
Well,
you really need to get out there.
That makes a lot of sense. Bree Gotsdiner, let's give some contact information for your business, if you will, please.
Sure. My website is publiclyrelated. It's .com. PUBLICLY related, RELATED.com.
Publiclyrelated.com. And is there a phone number you want to share, Bree?
Sure. It's 407-545-6013.